Hi, Chris. Hey, listen. So let's talk about that prophecy rock minute here. If we use our eyes and just look at what we're seeing, and forget about for a minute what we've been told. Now, uh, uh, all the Hopis that have give descriptions of prophecy rock on YouTube have all said the same thing, that it's up to each person's individual Hopis interpretation, that there's nothing that's written in stone describing the story of Prophecy Rock. That's not my words. That's what's been shown on the YouTube videos of the Hopis themselves. As you know, I've been out there seeing this Prophecy Rock in person. So obviously, a Hopi Indian took me to it. I was there with three Hopi Indians, and they gave me pretty much the same story as many of the others have said on Prophecy Rock on YouTube. But I already knew the story from YouTube, so they didn't go into great detail. They just showed it to me. So let's look at it and talk about that for a second. The person that's on the very bottom, that's holding the staff in his right hand and holding the straight line up to the top, is Maza, which is the underworld ant god. He's the one that holding the stalk of the reed, which is hollow, that went all the way up to the top of the surface of the earth, which the Hopi people were able to climb up through the reed and go up into the world that we live in now. That is their story called, shoot, I forget starts with an R. But they're, oh no, E, an emergence story. And so now, if we look at Maza, he looks like a human being. He's got two legs, two arms, a head, and a body. It's a crude stick figure, but it's a representation of what all children do, and people that can't draw, like myself. A stick person. Two legs, a body, two arms, and a head. Eyes, nose, and mouth. Okay? I think it had a nose. Now, if we go and look at the top line, which we are told those are the people, they're not drawn as people. The leg goes up, it goes to an arm, goes to a head, and comes back down and goes back down to another leg, foot. But it doesn't connect to a body. It's completely hollow and empty. It's a hollow shell. And that's what we're told are people. Okay. Okay. The last, after the third one, it's just all broken up lines. Well, they don't look like people to me. Masa does, but those on top don't look like people. When we go back to the bottom line, we see the hump and then a squiggly line with the comes off, and then we are told that that represents the corn stalk. And in the Hopi tradition, corn is extremely important because of the fact that it's their food substance. Through famines, they were able to survive because of the corn, and it grows very easily out. I shouldn't say easily, but it grows out in the desert with very little water, just from the water from the winter rains and snow seep into the ground in the sand, holds the water there, and then allows the corn to grow in the dry summers. It's called dry farming. Now, if we go back and look at that corn stalk, if it's something that the Hopi Indians that revere so much and have such respect for and actually have, I don't know if worship's the right word, but is extremely important to their culture, it's a pretty bad description of a corn stalk. Maybe it's a good description in the times that they did this carving, I don't know. But it's kind of weak to me. That bottom line also goes all the way to the end of the rock, and it does a 90-degree angle on this big boulder, and then the line goes to the end of the boulder, goes around the corner, like I say, a sharp 90-degree, and continues going up, just like it does in the as it shows the picture. Goes up, hits the corner, makes a 90-degree, and goes going up for about maybe a foot to 2 foot before it completely ends. So now, but if you go just maybe 100 feet down the road there from Prophecy Rock, there's another boulder, much the same size, that has other petroglyphs there that has not ever been shown on YouTube, at least that I'm aware of or ever have talked about. And on that one has a lot of other carvings on it too. And a lot of it with, like the Hopi Indians have say to some people, maybe not everybody, but they get their knowledge and their information from aliens. And there's so many Indians and Hopi Indian petroglyphs that show many strange creatures that are on the rock walls that are there for who knows how long. We see like antelope that look like antelope. We see dogs that look like dogs. We see people that look like people. But then we see all these crazy monsters. These crazy, I'm just going to use the word aliens right now. And all kinds of different creatures. And those were the type of things that were on the rock that was next to Prophecy Rock. Which then my friends showed me and said that those were just depictions of aliens. Well, if we read our Bible, we know that the fallen angels are stuck down here on earth, and they've been here since the beginning of time, or whoever knows how long. We don't know in the Bible if they fell the same day God created Adam and Eve, or if they watched Adam and Eve for a long period of time and then got jealous. We don't know the time frame. But they were cast down into the earth where Mazza, in the Hopi Indian reservation, was. And we know that the fallen angels are allowed to roam anywhere in the world, under, on, or above, which might be the fallen angels, might be the aliens on the rock that's just down the road from Prophecy Rock. So there's many things that our society tells us that may or may not be true. But when we look and use our own eyes and use our own discernment that's God-given, we can see things a little bit differently than maybe what the mainstream story talks about. I'll share this part about how in the Bible it talks about how Satan, the devil, that worm, the dragon. In the Bible, Satan is called the dragon. And when I was in Hopi Reservation, my friends, and this is for anybody else that's listening, I spent over 6 weeks there continuously, day and night, which was a very long period for somebody of my color and race to have spent the time there. It was quite an experience, and I saw a lot of things. But one of the stories that they showed and talked to me, which I could actually see from where I was staying at on the mesa across the viewway, was at the end of the mesa, they said that was the last time that they have recordings of a flying dragon that came down and grabbed children and took them away. And that was at the turn of the 20th century. So that would be like about 1905 through 1910 is when he said that the last time that there's been visual, not the first time, but the last time that they saw a dragon flying that came down and stole the children. And there's many lores and places where they say they take the children, take them to their world, teach them many magical things, bring the kids back when they're adults, and they become the kings, presidents, chiefs, rulers of the people. So we'll leave it at that right now. That was about my 10 minutes is almost up on our YouTube channel here. But yes, of course, this is still just scratching the surface of some of the things I was seeing and that I was told and have been privy to, been given some of this type of knowledge for the right time to be maybe released when it needs to be. God bless you. God bless the world. God bless me.